So thinking about moving to the Brainerd Lakes area, but which town should you choose? Is it Brainerd, Crosby, or Nisswa? Well, today is going to be a battle royale over the three towns with three historic, iconic downtowns. Quite frankly, they're not created equal, but we're going to be settling the debate once and for all. Which town has the best downtown, whether it's vibe, nightlife, shopping, entertainment, dining? So buckle up because we're going to be doing a deep dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of these three downtowns. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in the Brainerd Lakes area, make sure you subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications. That way you'll be the first to know about what's happening in the current market here in the Lakes area. My name is Noah Gedker. We get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you looking to make their move to the Lakes area. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 9 months, shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, schedule a Zoom call. All that info is in the description below. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to the Brainerd Lakes area. All right, starting with Brainerd. It's the largest of the three towns. Downtown Brainerd has the classic Midwest charm mixed with that urban feel, lots of history, historical charm, but let's be honest, it also might be potentially the most industrial feeling, maybe not as cute, if you will, as the other two. And then there's Nisswa, cute, quaint, very touristy. Think Hallmark movie downtown, small town, right? Almost nauseatingly charming, but seriously, could be a dream for you. And if you're looking for that genuine character beyond just souvenir t-shirts and overpriced fudge, might need to look beyond Nisswa. And Crosby is up next. This town went from really a forgotten mining town relic that was basically all it was just antique shops, and it seemed like a town that was dying. And now there's been a roaring back, a revitalization, and the downtown has had a ton of investments. A lot of great new businesses have come over the last few years and has become quite the hip outdoor mecca. To some might feel like overnight, but those who have participated know it's taken many, many years. It's a trendy town, and especially the summertime, bustling, packed with young energy, if you will. Like if Boulder, Colorado suddenly decided they wanted a Minnesota makeover. All right, here we go with, we're going to discuss the food and dining scene of the three downtowns. So downtown Brainerd brings you really probably the most variety of options, which is not too surprising considering that Brainerd is the largest of the three towns by quite a bit. So Brainerd is roughly 14,000+ residents, and then Nisswa is around 25 to 3,000, somewhere in there, and same thing with Crosby. So a lot of really good options downtown Brainerd, and depending on what you consider downtown Brainerd, because its downtown is much larger than the other two, a little more, might walk 2 or 3 blocks further potentially, but it's in that like square grid area versus Nisswa and Crosby are kind of one long stretch. So first up, you got Mickey's Pizza and Subs. This is all the locals love Mickey's. You can't go wrong. That cold cut sub sandwich. Plus they have like soup options and really great pizzas too. Like take and bake pizzas. But the subs are just tremendous. Kind of sits between downtown and the Brainerd High School in a really nice location. Just a little bit off the beaten path slightly. And then you have, speaking of pizza, Slice on Oak Street. It's in a little strip mall, the south side of downtown Brainerd, and it's got really great pizza. Again, another place that all the locals know, but maybe not necessarily other tourists coming to town. So then we have, really in downtown, El Potro Mexican restaurant. Correct me on the pronunciation. It's also, it's kind of a hidden gem in downtown Brainerd, when it comes to kind of the Mexican food options. El Tequila in Baxter tends to get a lot of business of that kind of food, El Tequila and Pancho and Lefties for like Tex-Mex. But El Potro is a great option. It's usually pretty quiet. It's much smaller, but good food options there. So the prices are good. So, I mean, as far as prices at restaurants go these days. So then there's Passport. It is like global flavors mixed, kind of created in a for the Minnesota palate, if that makes sense. Used to be Sage on Laurel. Of course, it's on Laurel Street, right across from Chicken Rice, which is like a Thai and South American influenced restaurant that everybody raves about. Some really cool food options there. Yeah, just a lot of variety, global influence on the food options, but also some kind of classic American options as well. All right, next up is Nisswa, that boasts some upscale eateries and some really unique options. None of these are going to be big chain restaurants per se. The closest we're going to get is A&W Restaurant, the drive-up restaurant, as far as chain restaurants go, but it's very unique. It's right downtown Nisswa. You know, you get your cheeseburgers and hot dogs and A&W root beer or root beer float, of course, in a chilled mug. That's always, you can't go wrong there. And then Ganley's Restaurant, that's a 3-generation restaurant. It's just a staple to downtown Nisswa. They've also got malts as well, seating outside so you can, see all the hustle and bustle of tourist shopping. Great restaurant as well. Main Street Ale House is a little more upscale, if you will, for touristy areas, but they'll have like steak and seafood and stuff like that, but a little bit more casual feel to it. That's right on Main Street in Nisswa. And also on Main Street in Nisswa is Rafferty's Pizza. Of course, Rafferty's is a iconic pizza joint in the Brainerd Lakes area with multiple locations. It's won many national awards and stuff like that for their tremendous pizza. If you come to the Brainerd Lakes area, there's multiple locations, so you're never too far away from Rafferty's Pizza. So if you're coming to visit, that's gotta be one of the restaurants you have to hit. I know it's just pizza, but it's really good, so can't go wrong. Next up, Crosby. So Crosby, it really, I think, punches above its weight, especially considering size of the town. And Nisswa gets way more tourists than Crosby does. Although it's a little bit difficult to quantify the exact numbers, but Crosby has some really, hip spots like Iron Range Eatery, just a small little, not a lot of seating, but they do have outdoor seating options as well. Not great in the winter, of course, but in the summertime, it's fabulous. Oftentimes you can feel, you're only basically about 2 blocks north of Serpent Lake, so you do get sometimes a breeze coming through there from the lake. And then Burritos California, think Chipotle, but more authentic. So it's actually, I believe, a Mexican family that actually owns Burritos California here, and they do have a location in Brainerd. Great option for, there is a Chipotle in Baxter. I personally do like Chipotle more just because I know what to expect and it's consistent, but this is a really great option. And then North Country Cafe, that's, that classic American diner right on Main Street in downtown Crosby. Your typical breakfast stuff. They're not open for dinner, it's just breakfast and lunch. Great option. And again, here we are. Rafferty's and Crosby is the best location, in my opinion. In terms of customer service and also just the coolest vibe to the location. And then Drunken Noodle. That is, I think, my go-to restaurant in Crosby. It's a Thai restaurant, very clean. It's only, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years old. Good customer service, very easy, simple menu. And they're also closed on Sundays, which is pretty neat, being in a tourist area to see, a restaurant closed on Sunday. And, some people may consider maybe bummed out about that sometimes, but, like Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sundays as well. I think a good business model for employees to, know that they can, of these restaurants, to know that they're going to have for sure that they won't be working on a certain day, specifically Sundays. Actually, little secret, not so much a secret anymore actually, but Chick-fil-A is coming to, sounds like for sure is coming to Baxter soon. So that's a little side note. All right, we move to our next round regarding entertainment. So Brainerd first up comes, alive at many places. You've got like Yesterday's Gone bar is pretty popular. There's a lot of locals that gather in downtown Brainerd. It's certainly no Minneapolis nightlife, if you will, but there are lots of varieties. There's some varieties of, so like Shep's on 6th, it's a sports bar, and if you go there, you do need to get initiated into the Elbow Club. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you got to go find out. And then there's Big J's Pizza Arcade, which is, the pizza's pretty decent. Nothing too great, but it's good enough to be combined with the arcade as well. So it's a great place for like birthday parties or bring kids to and have a little fun that way. It's right downtown. And then there's a Copper Cat escape game. So those of you who are into those escape games, and all that. So I tend to not do so well in those. I don't know if it's because I overthink or if I'm just not smart enough apparently to escape. So let's head north to Nisswa. There's just going to be a little bit quieter feel for Nisswa and Crosby as we compare to Brainerd, but I would say the main contenders when it comes to like entertainment and nightlife, so to speak, which is not a whole lot really much for the nightlife, but there is Big Axe Brewing, which has, oftentimes will have live music, and then the Pickle, as locals would call it, but Yale Pickle Factory, locals call it the Pickle, is live music, pool, pull tabs, a lot of different things like that going on. A lot of like family events that happen during the day. There's like every Wednesday, I believe noon in the summertime, they've got the turtle races, and then they've got at different times of year, they've got fireworks different times of year, and a lot of, the Nisswa lighting of the city that happens in the winter, and they have a great 4th of July parade. A lot of the nightlife, if you will, is more centered around, in Nisswa is more centered around, kind of evenings, watching the sunset or on the boat or something like that. So a little different vibe than Brainerd. Then next up is Crosby. You've got some options, more going to be around if you don't drink. It may be a little bit, there's not really much of a nightlife at all in downtown Crosby. There's the Canna Wine Bar, which has self-serve tap, which is pretty neat when it comes to wine, I guess. So, and then they have live music as well. They have outdoor seating patio. The wine bar is fairly new, maybe not even 2 years old at this point. And then Hardwater Lounge right on Main Street. That's has like craft cocktail lounge, and they're known for like their smoked old-fashioned drinks. Very casual environment called lounge. It really feels like a lounge. Then there's a Cuyuna Brewing, which has craft beers, and they have, a tap room and stuff like that. So that's right next to Burritos, California. The nightlife in Crosby really, revolves around craft breweries and kind of trendy hangouts like that. There's a bowling alley actually in downtown Crosby, so that could be added, I suppose, to the nightlife, if you will, or entertainment. Every week there's actually downtown, there's on Saturday mornings, there's a farmer's market. And also 2 blocks from downtown Crosby is Serpent Memorial Park, just a huge park. Got a beach right there, a kids playground, a baseball field, a skate park, a lot of options there. So, and even place to dock your boat. So go out, launch your boat out, go do whatever, water skiing or whatever, and then dock your boat, walk a couple blocks downtown, have lunch, and go back out. So that element of Crosby is pretty cool. So Nisswa actually would have something kind of similar, if you will. If you're looking to kind of enjoy the lake life and a downtown life a little bit, then Crosby and Nisswa would be kind of the better options there than Brainerd. All right, this next round will be a bit of a speed round because it's about shopping, and I just not a big fan of shopping necessarily. So Brainerd is first up, offers some real practical shopping for things like Cattails bookstore, which is pretty cool. It's a used bookstore, and they have a lot of neat options. You can spend a lot of time in there if you like books or reading. If you don't, you probably won't like it. But then there's the Crowing Food Co-op, so it's basically a small little grocery store right downtown. Provides some unique, like organic, kind of different options that you wouldn't necessarily get at a traditional grocery store. So that's right downtown. We got Brecken's clothing store. Actually, it's been around for over 60 years. It actually started out downtown Brainerd as a men's clothing store, where you traditionally think of getting like men's suits and stuff like that. Then, when the Westgate Mall was built, early 80s or somewhere in the 80s, they moved out to the Westgate Mall, and we're out there for a long time. And then I believe this last year, about a year ago or so, is when they moved back to downtown Brainerd. So it's just interesting to see how trends go. And most businesses don't make it through those kinds of massive changes, but Brecken's has, and they've always kind of kept up on kind of the most trendy clothing, and always kind of a focus on quality as well. I might be a little bit biased because back in high school I worked there. There's other clothing options as well, a lot of kind of unique boutique shops and a lot of different variety of options, some antique shops and consignment shops, and still a pawn shop in downtown Brainerd as well, one or two. So yeah, Target, all that kind of Costco, all that kind of stuff is going to be out in Baxter. So none of that is going to be all pretty unique stuff downtown Brainerd. Now heading back up towards Nisswa, it's the king or queen, whatever you want to call it, of boutique shopping, where the chocolate ox reigns supreme. Nisswa's downtown is just boutique heaven. I'm not sure. I mean, there are gift shops galore, kind of high-end apparel. Really what you would expect from a touristy hallmark feel downtown that revolves around lake life. I mean, this is just iconic small town Americana. Nisswa was voted best small town in Minnesota a couple of years ago, whatever it was. Great downtown for strolling and just kind of maybe just strolling in and looking to see what there is. There's a lot of varieties of options, if you're looking for overpriced candles. All right, heading over to Crosby. There's a couple of antique stores that still remain. Used to be like what felt like just all antique stores. It's probably a good thing that it's not all antique stores anymore. But there's a lot more boutique shops, kind of like what you would see in Nisswa, but there is tailored a little bit more to kind of outdoorsy, hipster bike shop type crowd. There are Red Raven bike shop / coffee shop as well. Coffee shop is kind of more of like an addition to their main business as being a bike shop. A lot of overpriced cutting boards, say like Lake Life or something to do with Crosby or the Brainerd Lakes area, stuff like that. So there's actually a brand new pets food store. Feels like overpriced pet food and pet supplies. Maybe because I don't have any pets, so that's could be why I think it's overpriced. So here we are. I've gone through a few rounds to see who has the best downtown. Is it Brainerd? Is it Nisswa? Is it Crosby? Who is the real winner in this showdown? So let's recap. Brainerd has a wide variety of amenities, kind of real practical vibes, and most variety, if you will, of whether it's dining, activities, entertainment, shopping. Then we've got Nisswa, that's kind of an upscale charm, tourist friendly, kind of geared more towards a higher end lifestyle, if you will. Then there's Crosby, the trendy, adventurous, outdoor vibe, maybe a bit tad hipster, if you will. The truth is it depends on your style, energy, and nightlife. Maybe Crosby might be the option for you. If you love boutiques and an upscale vibe, Nisswa might be a better option for you. If you need a little more practicality, convenience, a little more, maybe hanging out with more locals, Brainerd might be the preferred option. So it's all about what you prefer, what you like. I'd recommend, spend some time in each of those downtowns and get a feel. Do a little shopping, a little eating, and check it out. All right, no matter which town fits you the best, we're here to help you find the perfect home in the Brainerd Lakes area. Make sure you shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call, or schedule that Zoom call. All that info again is below in the description box. We'd love to help you make that move to the Brainerd Lakes area, whichever area you prefer. We want to make it a smooth move as much as possible. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody. And also, if you've been to any of these downtowns, comment. Tell me what you like about that particular downtown, or maybe what you don't like about it, right? But until next time, I'll see you around the Brainerd Lakes area.